All right, so this is why these open cab tractors are a bit of a pain. I'm driving through the countryside here in the pouring rain on the first day of April. Although I probably wouldn't trade this for anything. I am getting wet. So, hello. Welcome to episode 2 of our adventure here in Ireland. So, the last episode, we had a lot of stuff that we did. We moved. We spent a bunch of money. As you remember, we started off with $1.5 million, and now we're down to $875,000 after some early morning loan payments and the like. So interest, I can't even remember. But between loan and I think the principal, we paid about $6,000. The interest we paid $4,000 or something, some crazy number like that. And anyway, yeah. So we spent a lot of money this morning. I had a bit of an issue. So after I ended with you on the last episode, if you stuck around, I think I included a bunch of the mowing footage and also some footage of the Fiat dying on us. The motor started to cut out while we were mowing, and it happened a number of times in one field. So I parked it and we switched over to the Massey. But I'm a little bit concerned because I think we just spent. Now it was a package with the Tedder, which of the Tedder is quite a bit newer. So I don't think. I mean, in the end, I think what did I pay? I want to say I paid $12,000 for that tractor and the Tedder, of which the Tedder might have been over half of that. So let's say the tractor was worth $5,000. I did call the dealer this morning just to tell them what was going on. They said they would give me about $1,000 for the tractor, which I just don't know what to do with it because it doesn't look like it needs servicing. The motor's just dying, so I think I kind of got screwed there, to be honest with you. But yeah. Anyways, that sucks. So I went to the store this morning and picked up the windrow. They've yet to source a baler for us, which is fine. We don't need one yet. We got a lot of work to do here in the fields first. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. I was a little bit bummed out because that Fiat was working so well, and then to have it kind of die on us while it was in action really stunk. So I gotta find a place to park this thing. This thing's hilarious, by the way. There it goes. Wham, 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 wham. It's so violent when it puts those spikes up and down. So I think this is about a 4-meter windrow. Nothing massive. I didn't want to create any problems when it came to trying to use it with the tractors we have, but now who knows? I don't know what to make. So here's the thing with moving to Ireland. I moved here with quite a bit of money, obviously, as you saw, and the local dealer has a great leasing program, but in moving from Ireland, from Canada to Ireland, I don't have any credit here now, despite the fact that I have a bunch of money. I don't have credit, so they won't take a secured lease where I sort of put some collateral up. They told me that I can't borrow money in this country or lease anything, which is essentially a form of borrowing, for 2 full years. So until we're in the 3rd in-game year, we're on our own. So we need cash. Cash is king, as they say. Even though currently the cash I have is not necessarily my cash because I did borrow it. So interesting caveat there. So I guess why I'm saying that is, well, it would be nice to go and maybe take this broken down Fiat, dump it for a couple bucks, and replace it with maybe something a little larger. We don't have the borrowing, they just won't lend it to us. So for now, we're just going to kind of leave this here. I'm going to have to think about what to do. It'd be nice if I could do an engine swap. Maybe that's something I can do. I don't know what that would cost, but if I could swap out the motor, get it painted, that kind of thing, I would assume at that point it would reset the hour meter. That would be kind of cool. So what do you think an engine swap would cost for this tractor? let me know. If I might look it up too, because if the tractor itself, gosh, I want to say these tractors are 10, 12, 15 grand, something like that. 20 grand maybe. But if an engine swap is like $8,000, then maybe I spend 8 and we do that. Anyways, for now, we are going to hook the, let's hope I don't have an issue with this. This has more time on the motor than the other one did. So that's a bit of a concern. Okay, so what are we doing now? I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna head across the road and we're gonna. So, how realistic is it running the windrow, the tether in the rain? I guess what's it really doing? It's breaking up or like it's sort of tossing the grass, I guess, which would then allow air to access it, which over a couple days, I guess it would dry and then you could bale it. Is that how hay works? I don't fully grasp it. But in this game here, I believe with no penalty, I can go and run this implement through this grass and then bale it almost immediately, I think. I don't think I have to wait. So let's chat a little bit while I drive, and then we may flip this into a bit of a time lapse. But yeah, so I think what we're gonna do here, we're gonna run through this grass so we can bale this field. I don't know how many hay bales we get off this field, but it may be enough. And then if I take the rest, so if we kind of go through, we dry this grass, and then we go and we take the other fields, we turn them into silage. If for whatever reason we are running and we fill up the 800 and odd thousand liters that the silage, the fermenter, the silage maker, as we've dubbed it in the last episode, if we happen to fill that up, which I don't think we will, then we can just dry the rest of the grass and turn that into hay. If we don't, and we'll end up with the bales we pull off of this field, and we'll end up with the silage that we make in the fermenter / silage maker. If we end up thinking we maybe have more than we need, then we can also sell some of the silage in the area here. It could be a bit of a money maker for us. At some point, we're going to have to start bringing money in, not just sending money out. But when, like, our one field there, so our one field there doesn't have much to do. I checked, it was fertilized and all the stuff was done to it, so it's just going to grow along nicely. We'll probably have to make a decision on one of these other fields. I gotta do a bit of research and figure out what we need for pigs. I really don't want to do like sugar beets, or I think they'll eat sugar beets or potatoes. I think they'll eat. Or I think they'll even eat probably carrots. I don't really want to do that, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that I have the patience to get into that type of crop, and also I don't know that I can afford to either, because there's some pull behind stuff for potatoes, which then likely means there's some pull behind implements for like beets, but I just don't know if I have the patience to farm 2 rows at a time or whatever it is. If you know any solutions that are reasonable and go towards protecting my sanity, please let me know. But I just don't see that as being much of a good option for us. That being said, perhaps we could look locally. There are a couple of contractors that'll come in and put up greenhouses for us. I don't know how much, and then there's one greenhouse in particular I can put up that will grow sugar beets or beets, I guess. And I think at that point we could then feed those to our pigs. I don't know what the capacity is in, like, how much it would actually grow, but if it was not too expensive, we do have that pad next to our silage maker. So perhaps we could get a contractor to put in a greenhouse there, and we might be able to grow some sugar beets. for with the intention of feeding the pigs, and then not have to actually commit a field to them, and perhaps never have to farm 2 rows at a time, which would be awesome to avoid that. So that's a thought. But I mean, in the meantime, what we have to do is we've got to get this run through this field here, and then I don't know what. So I bought that windrow. I don't have any. I have nothing big, obviously. I mean, I say we had 2 tractors, both at 100. This one I think it says about 80 horsepower, and the other one's about 100 horsepower. But that other one, if it doesn't work, then I have 1 tractor, so we're a little limited. And I really don't want to fork out $100,000 for a bigger tractor right now, with some unknowns ahead of us, right? I don't know what in this first year. I'm not sure what kind of expenses we're going to come across on the farm, and I don't want to find ourselves in a situation where I'm stuck. So we want to make sure we've got a little bit of bankroll behind us, all the while paying what looks like about $4,000 a month for interest. Yikes. That's pricey. So let me get this run through this field, and then we'll go and pull out the windrow, which I think is, this is time consuming. We're rolling here 15 kilometers an hour, and we have a nice large area that we need to cover. But I have a feeling that windrow is going to take even longer, because I think it's about half the working width of this implement, and perhaps far more a pain in my arse than this, because you have to be a little bit more exact so you make sure your rows are good. This is wide. I can just drive, as long as I see grass, I just drive over it and it dries it. Not the case with the. Let's throw on some catchy tunes, and we'll get this work done here in the pouring rain. Maybe grab a coffee, and then we will go figure out how to use our brand new windrower. We got the last little bit here. I really hope I didn't make a mistake in trying to do this in the rain. Honestly, I don't know whether the game penalizes you for this or not. I understand that when you try to harvest in the rain, you're penalized. And I think does it say a warning? I think it says some kind of a warning, doesn't it? But I don't know if, oh no, look. I may have another crappy tractor. Shoot, I did not see that coming. I've had vehicles die with high engine hours in the past, but I want to say it was higher than this. Anyways, so honestly, I think when you try to harvest, I know when you try to harvest in the rain, or I think it warns you, but I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. Come on, don't die. What are we going to do if we don't have any tractors to drive? Oh my gosh. Oh no. We got work to do, folks. Stop turning this on. I'm out here in the pouring rain. My tractor's dying. I don't know if I should even be doing this right now in the rain. Welcome to Ireland. Not saying it's Ireland's fault, but it just happens to be where we are right now. All right, so let's open this. Let's open this hat. No, nope, open please. I only have to open one, I think, so let's just do that. All right, come on, tractor. Okay, well, how much do you think? Oh, yes, I'm in Ireland. Sorry. So how much do you think it would cost to replace the motor in these tractors? Oh, the other thing too. So I'm gonna get the windrow, and we're going to go run into that hay field to put those in rows, and then we're gonna compare that to the rows that our mower already creates, because it does have a swather plate. Come on. So I wonder if we even need to run the windrow through what are going to be silage fields, or whether I can just run through with the forage wagon. Okay, let's get this parked, and then we're going to jump onto the used market and see if, wouldn't it be nice if there was a juicy used tractor sitting there waiting for us? And then maybe we could buy another problem. Okay, no, as luck would have it, there are only 2 items on the used market today, and they are both right here. Neither of which we need. Let's check something else. All right, there's our 2 tractors. $1,100, $973. So we've got $2,000 between the 2 of them. But I think if we went and spent the money to get them repaired and potentially painted, then we can probably pull some more money out of them. But what do I do? Okay, let's do this. Let's grab because you can see, I mean, if I could get this repaired, it's at about 50% health. Let's go see what the other one's at. It's at about 50% also, so another open cab tractor. Love it. All right, so I'm a pretty handy guy. I think what I might do, I'll go run into the house. I want to make a phone call. I'm going to get an idea what it would cost to put just a small little sort of shop into the property here. Something we can use to work on our own vehicles, because then perhaps I can do the repairs on these things. I'm going to grab a coffee at the same time and get myself dried off before we go out there and start working on that hayfield. Actually, you know what? Why would I leave this here? No, of course I'd leave this here, because I was gonna bring this up to the house, but there's no point. I might as well just run there, because I'm gonna have to come back anyways once the guy, if we can get someone to put something in for us today that we can work on, and that we can use to work on our vehicles, then we should be good. Okay, so I'm gonna go run up to the house right now, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, a couple hours gone by now. So man, the guy was fast. These are, I guess it helps when you purchase a mobile shop. So the contractor actually had a little bit of time, and he had an extra unit already loaded onto his vehicle. So he came by for $2,000. Oh shoot, he forgot his boots. That's interesting. Anyways, yeah. So for $2,000, the guy came by and delivered this what's essentially a mobile shop. So we just placed it over here on the pad, and now we should, by all rights, be able to work on that tractor. So let's we'll get the Fiat over here. I still think we're gonna need to do some type of engine swap here at some point. What do you think? Drop a 2JZ into it, or do LS? Will LS swap our tractor? I don't even think I'm gonna make it over there. Come on, let's get there. I also also checked the weather, and it's not supposed to be till about 1 o'clock before the rain stops. All right, so $1,100 in parts, almost $1,200. Let's hope that does the trick. Let's go pick up the windrow, and we'll. My heart is gonna sink. Oh, hold on, I gotta shut the door. My heart is gonna sink if this thing dies on us. I'm not gonna feel good about that at all. Okay, where on earth did we park the tool? Over here somewhere. There we go. We're gonna have to see if we can figure out how to use this. I guess by all accounts I should be picking up the grass we want to use for silage first, because then what the okay, there's that. Thing does make it very hard to turn. Anyways, yes, I was about to say I should pick up the grass and get it into the fermenting silo so it can begin to turn into silage, but I don't know if I'm going to need to windrow that grass, because it is in rows already, albeit fairly tight rows, just based on the fact that our mower had a swather plate, but let's see how tight a row this makes, and then we'll know. Because if it makes rows that are the same size, then there's no point in trying to put that grass into rows. And then we'll only ever use this for hay, and maybe we won't have to use it for straw. Okay, so let's see how we do this. So this side we want to drop in an aggressive manner. This side we want to drop. Not so bad. And then this part's my favorite part. Wham, wham, wham. All right. So I believe this means it's going to... oh, okay, we're going to make it wider, I guess. Is that what that means? But then it also doesn't sit on the ground. Well, let's fire it up and see what happens. Alright, so this is one of these tools that I think what we'll do is we'll go all the way around the outside, then we'll turn around and try to double that row, and then we'll just keep doing that. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tedious, I think. Did I mention that I checked the weather, and it looks like it's going to be 1 o'clock before the rain stops? So I had debated on just hanging out inside, and if the rain had stopped in early enough, then I was just going to stay inside, and then we would come back out once it stopped raining. But unfortunately, 1 o'clock is probably going to put us too late in the afternoon, because I'd like to get this done, and I'd like to get some of that silage fermenting before the day's done. So at least we know we're throwing some money in the bank, so to speak. And then if I don't hear anything back from the dealer on a used baler, then I guess I got to bite the bullet and get something new. I tend to like to get used because I think you can get more bang for your buck. And I know that, you know, the wear and tear, and like we saw on these tractors, the motors going and that kind of thing. But like, I didn't really pay a lot of money for these things. So if I can stretch them out a ways, then I think it's worth it. Especially early on here. Like, once our cows start, once we get cows and they start making milk for us, we'll be making some money here. And then you know, we can start paying off the balance and we'll invest in maybe another field. I don't want too many fields, but we are going to have to grow some harvestable crops. So I made a call to a contractor with the thought that perhaps we could grow beets for our pigs in a greenhouse, and it's not that expensive actually. Anywhere from I think it was like $5,000 to $10,000 or $5,000 to $15,000. I can have one put in, which is pretty cool. The question obviously becomes, where do I put it? Because other than that one spot where we've now got a fermenting silo and our shop, we don't really have a lot of extra room to place buildings. So we kind of got to be conscious of that. I don't really want to give up any field space for a building, but if it's a greenhouse, which is essentially doing what a field would be doing anyways, which is growing crops, then I guess if I had to give up a little bit of a field, I wouldn't be adverse to that. But ideally what we do is we strike a deal with Liam on that lot that's right behind us. We get the guys in. I mean, let's say there's 10 trees, might cost us a couple grand to have them come in and remove the trees, and then we may be able to use that space there to set up a couple greenhouses even, and then we still have that group of fields there that we can use for whatever we want. That might be a good option. Then I don't have to feel bad about taking what's an existing field and turning it into a place for a greenhouse. I say a greenhouse, but we may want to put other stuff there too. I don't know what other stuff, but we have reasonable shed storage on the farm, despite the fact that everything is quite cozy. So while it is storage space, it's not fantastic storage space. So we want to determine whether or not we think this is going to be a wider row than what we're going to get out of our mowing with a swather plate, or whether, and if it's going to be wider, then we'll have to run this through the other grass fields. But if it doesn't look like there's any benefit, then we probably won't know that until we run a couple laps here, is my guess. They do look like nice fat rows though. Let me jump back over to this side and then we'll just start going up and down the field, because that might be a little bit more organized than trying to run laps. So we'll go up and down twice here, and then we'll know, I think at that point, whether or not we need to use this on the fields for the grass to become silage or not. Met a couple of my neighbors when I was down at the shop this morning picking this up. Apparently the shop is a bit of a morning hangout, so if I ever want to go and gossip, I just head down there. They always got coffee on, and I can shoot the poop with some of the other guys there and figure out what's going on. So might be something we want to do anyways. I did explain to them what my intentions were with the farm, and that if anyone they kind of laughed a bit when I said, if anybody wants some silage, I might have some excess. And it turns out actually when you look around, everybody's into grass fields here. So they did give me a couple ideas on some of the crops. If we wanted to sort of turn our grass fields into arable fields, then there'd be a market for some stuff that's not necessarily grown in the area, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, but I do want to get those, the animals going first, and then we can worry about that after. Apparently there's a good market in the area for horses. So I have never in my life tried to raise horses, but perhaps at some point here we can get into, I think I can put a barn that has like maybe 2 or 3 stalls, and maybe we can take that as a bit of a side gig where we raise a few horses and see if we can make any money there. How hard can it be to care for a couple horses? Or is it like everything else where you're like, I'm only going to run with a couple, and then next thing you know, you have 30 horses, and they're eating you out of house and home. That was a nice little tractor that just drove by. Yeah, you know what? I mean, these are... So in thinking about those other grass fields and the forage wagon, Like this spreads the grass to some pretty wide rows. It's a giant pain in the butt, but I mean, if we took the time to go put the grass into rows first and then hit it with the forage wagon, will that make our life easier, or do we just go for the one run through with the forage wagon? You know what? I think that's what we're going to do, because so if you think about it, if I run the windrow through those grass fields, putting the grass into rows, and then I got to come back and run the forage wagon through, I've essentially done the equivalent of, running twice as many up and downs in the forage wagon because the grass is not in rows. But I also have the opportunity, if I do it that way, to potentially luck out in some areas and maybe pick up time. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll just run the forage wagon. We may regret it after the first field, and then we can run this through the other fields. I mean, it's not like we don't own the implement. Obviously I mentioned I can't lease because no one will lend me anything because I'm a rotten Canadian and I don't have any credit in this country. But I don't know. We can try a bunch of things and then see how it works. And then in saying that, how many bales are we going to get off this field? I wonder. I guess obviously it depends on it shouldn't be how many bales, because that's dependent on the size of bale, obviously. That makes sense. So it should be more about how many liters of hay we're going to take off this field. I think it's going to be quite a bit. I think we'll be happy. And then with this grass field, obviously, other than maybe, I think we'll have to get somebody in so they can run some soil samples for us and tell us what the composition of the soil is like, and then we'll know sort of whether or not this is a good yield or not. And I don't know what was done to this field, to be honest with you. I don't know whether they fertilized it or what. I mean, the grass does look a little spotty, but maybe what we'll do is when we get into our field, we will. Well, yeah, okay. So I don't even know what Liam. I mean, this was Willie's farm or field, so I don't know what Willie did with his grass. I know what Willie Nelson would have done with his grass, but so yeah, I don't know if this is a good yield or not. It looks spotty, doesn't it? Like it doesn't look like. It looks like maybe we should have had more. All right, let me get to work here. I'll stop blabbing on about Willie Nelson and his grass. Hopefully it stops raining at some point here. We're going to be needing to take another break before we can attack the next field. But I feel good. We're getting somewhere. This tractor hasn't died yet, knock on wood, so maybe that's the trick. Maybe once they get to about half life there, we have to repair them, but now we have the ability to do that ourselves. We know that it's going to cost about $1,200 in parts once we get to that halfway life mark, but that's got to be cheaper than trying to purchase a bunch of new equipment right now. So, good times.
Let me know, do you feel me too? Let it show.
So this is almost where we need it to be. This is almost where we need it to be, and then we can I didn't see, so before we started this, there was no baler. So, I mean, we can cross our fingers and hope that the used car gods are shining and perhaps we're going to see a used baler show up. I say the used car gods, I suppose used equipment gods, but it sounds good that way. So anyways, yeah, so I hope a baler has produced itself. Let's see, so this end is done. A little bit more work down over here. I don't mind this windrower. I mean, it'd be nice to have something that was a little bit wider, so we didn't have to make as many passes. Oh my gosh. So I could drive straight. Come on, please. Just drive straight. Yeah, so yeah, it would be nice to have something that had a wider working width. It would definitely save me some mileage here, but it's all good. If that's our biggest concern, then I think we're all right. I can pick that up after. So just continue down here, get as much as we can into this row. We'll leave the rest. But yeah, I think I definitely needed to put this in rows, obviously, just for our own sanity when it comes to the baling. Question will be, how many liters of will we pull off the other fields to be able to put into the silage maker? I wonder. I don't know if I had the vehicle sound turned down too far, but I love the in-game water on the cab sound when I don't have a cab on my tractor, so really it's just the sound of the water hitting my skull. Okay, forage wagon. Let's go pick it up. I think I have to unfold it. Yes. So it should hold about 13,000 liters. So not the worst. I mean, we'll be able to pick up 13,000 liters at a time. Oh dear. Oh yeah, I forgot we expanded this field. It's quite large. So we can pretty much go anywhere, but let's just start right here in the middle. And we will see what happens. How well does this thing pull? Not horribly. I mean, I don't even know if it's a four-wheel drive or a two-wheel drive tractor. I believe the Massey is a four-wheel drive. Oh, that's a good point. I wonder how muddy these fields are. Will the grass fields get muddy? Is it just I guess we're lucky that maybe we're working in grass right now, because with all this rain, I think the dirt fields would be getting quite muddy. Oh yeah, look at this. This is going to be, I don't know, I'm predicting we're going to get an absolute butt ton of silage here, because we're over half full and we've barely even moved around this field. Wow. What does that mean? How much are we going to get? I'll just drag this back. This will be the first load. Ooh, it's quite unstable. Alright, so I think we just pull up and drop. Wow, this is going to take a while, I think, as we work our way through this. I don't think I have to activate the silo. I think it just... Is it in productions? So my options are storing. I'm assuming there's one for spawning. And does that mean it spawns in pallets? I think we want to just store this. Oh, it moves. Oh my God, is it raining harder now? anyways, this looks like it's going to create the silage quite fast also, which is a bonus. We'll have silage quicker than we think. I mean, so that's going to be a nice, I mean, you essentially look at that silo as a bank machine, because if we ever run into a problem where we're strapped for cash, we can always go there. Like, the cows can survive eating hay, but I don't believe they produce milk if they're eating hay. So obviously we'd like to feed them the best, feed them for the best performance with the intention of making milk. But if we are stuck, we have an option. A lot of traffic today. One thing we won't do if we're stuck is sell our Ford. That was my grandpa's old truck. He handed it down to me, and I brought it over here to Ireland. So I will not be selling that truck in the series. That truck stays with the farm. Sorry, not with the farm, with me. Because if we sell the farm and buy a different farm or whatever, then it's mine. I can't see us buying a different farm because this farm seems to be a good one to play out our days here in Ireland. The only thing we may, if we want to expand the facilities at all, we'll obviously have to take over some space, and that might mean losing a bit of a field. That's like perhaps this massive field would be the donation for the space, because it's nice and flat and it's near that. Like if we had some sheds over there on the driveway or whatever, it might make sense. It's bumpy, man. Look at that. And I looked, and there was already like 500 liters of silage in the silo. So I don't anticipate in this episode that we're going to be adding the cows, but once I get that hay picked up, I mean, if we can buy enough straw bales that's not too damaging to the pocketbook, then we could get some cows and start going down that road. But we don't. Again, not in this episode. But I think I'm sort of guessing that in this episode we'll be pulling all this grass off the field and potentially getting to the baling. I just don't know what we're going to have available to us as far as the baler is concerned. I don't want to drop $30,000-$40,000. Maybe I do. I don't know. We have $800,000. I'm just so paranoid that money's going to vanish. Once you have the animals, you don't want to run into a situation where you're killing your animals because you can't feed them. That little field over there would be a good addition. You could take that hedge out and extend this. It might be something we have to pick up. I believe this next field here is connected to not only a series of fields, but also potentially a farm or a building of some kind. I don't want to own more than one farm. What would be really good is if I could convince one of my kids to move to Ireland here and take over one of the other farms. That would be good. I could always co-sign on a Canadian loan for them, and then they could come on board here and manage one of the other farm properties. Would be kind of fun. But I think they love their lives in Canada. So that's the third load, 13,000 liters per load, and I would sort of say that we haven't really even put a dent in this field. So are we going to fill up the silo with one field? I doubt it, but let's say for example we get Okay, let's so at 13,000, so 10, that's per load. So at 10 loads, we're going to be 130,000. We've had 3 loads so far. I bet we get like about 100. We'll be somewhere between 150 and 200,000 liters is my guess off of this field. Let's see how that estimate plays out, but that's just my kind of rough guess. Just trying to gauge how many low. Oh, that's tough too, because I mean I'm kind of basing that on, you know, I do a lap and I don't even get all the way around the lap and I'm already dropping the contents off for the fermenter. But I guess I should remember that as we get closer to the center of this series of, you know, rows, they become smaller because obviously there's the inner rows, so it won't always be 13,000 before I even get to the end. It's a great forage wagon. I mean, obviously it doesn't have a huge capacity, but if you look at the forage wagon, it's not huge, so that's sort of the whole idea. I like the wood paneling and stuff on it. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. So there's still room on this pad to place, if we didn't want to make the purchase of Liam's property next door and then, you know, have them come and cut down trees and turn that into a complex of silos. If we wanted to get something rolling right away, we could put a silo on the pad though. There's enough room for it and we'd still be able to get around. So that's probably something that we're going to end up doing. Did I say silo? I meant a greenhouse. We'd have to put the smaller greenhouse on there, which I think is about $5 or $8 grand or something like that, and we can use it to produce beets, which we could then turn around and feed to our pigs. But yeah, it would. I mean, it's going to take up some space, but I think we have the space to spare. And I guess, am I understanding pigs right? Because I didn't study it before moving to Ireland and buying a pig farm. But I mean, all I'm doing is raising baby pigs into large, big, fat pigs, so that way they can be sold for. They can be sold anyways for a profit. Am I reading that right? They don't do anything else, right? Obviously, you don't milk a pig. So as I'm playing through the second episode here in this series, I am sort of buying into the concept more and more that I've got set up here. I like the fact that we're already doing things. I've already got some sort of cool equipment to play with, and there's a bit of a challenge in that I gotta figure out some income streams here, so that way I don't go broke at some point when the bank is coming to collect all their money for the loan. I have no concept of how far $800,000 is going to take us in game, so that's a bit of a mystery.
On the floor, looking up, wanting more. This is so unreal. I must have been wrong, 'cause your love is strong for him. Why would it not be? He's always there for you. I keep living alone. swept my feet off the ground, left me on the floor. Hard to resist, got me looking like this, like no one before. 'Cause I must be strong, 'cause this might go on for long. Guess I was wrong, and he's always there for you. I keep living alone, way so far from home. Free, but ready to flee from this all. Hard to be standing on your own. Hard to be standing on your own. Left on the floor, looking up, wanting more. This is so unreal. Out of my mind, how could I be so blind? How could I not see? I must have been wrong, 'cause your love is strong for him. Why would it not be? He's always there for you. I keep living alone, way so far from home. Free, but ready to flee from this all. Hard to be standing on your
Ooh, we have almost pulled off this marathon. It's almost 300,000 liters of, soon to be silage, I guess, grass. And the sun is shining, which is fantastic. So we'll see. This has proven to be a bit of a struggle over here with these two fields, because there is a more prominent hill on that field, and it was pouring rain. It was hard to get up. There was a couple times I had to sort of back up and reroute myself. This has a very gradual hill, but I did run into a couple situations where it was, look even there, it's pushing, it won't push the trailer. I'm trying to back up, but it's just sort of sliding in place. So yeah, some challenges, obviously. We're just gonna get the last little bit here and throw this into the silo. I think we've got about 13,000 liters of silage already made. So things we need to hope show up in the used car market, used equipment or tractor market, is a baler, because I do want to bale up that hay field across the road that we put into rows. Some type of water tank and also a feed mixer, because we do want to make some a feed mix for potential cows. So will that stuff show up in the sale for us, or will we be buying new? I wonder. But so far, Ireland's been pretty good to us. I mean, we're completely soaked. We've been out here on the tractor since 6:30 in the morning, pretty much. It is, what is that, 2, almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon in game. So, I mean, it's a good time to be able to finish this and probably wrap things up here. Let's get this last little row, and we'll go head over to the silo and we'll see what's going on, and we'll make some plans for the future. No, we're full anyways. I mean, there's a tiny bit right there, but we're not going to worry about it. So let's take our grass-stained tractor over to the silo. The fermenting silo. Through here. That was somewhat uneventful, that harvest, which is good. There was one moment where I thought I was seeing things that maybe the tractor rolled over, but who knows? I doubt that happened. Okay, so the winner is... Yeah, see that? We've got almost 16,000 liters of silage already, and we're at 280,000 liters of grass. So we're definitely over 300,000 liters off of those fields. So that plus the hay across the road, that's really good. So we're gonna want to sacrifice something for to plant. We're gonna want to sacrifice some space in order to plant something. Plant corn, plant something like that. We're gonna take a look at the pig enclosure and see if it gives us any clues as to what we need in order to feed them. I'll have to get some kind of way to wash this stuff too. Okay, perfect. So I think that's what we're going to call it. I mean, you definitely put up with a few time lapses, which is fantastic. I really appreciate that. But then a lot of grass work, just a lot of grass work. But we'll come back. When we rejoin here, we'll probably be in the second day of April, if not later on in this day here, as we there's some stuff to do, and we do have to get a baler so we can get that hay off the field over there. So we'll figure that out, and then we'll probably want to do a little bit of plowing because I think we're in planting season and we're going to need to get some crops planted as well. So anyways, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.